story. I wanted to take it back to how I first started recording and sit on my bed. I have to show you my little lanterns that I have hanging up on my bed as a nightlight, but it is Jack from The Nightmare Before Christmas. The skeleton. But anywho, we are going to get into this. Sorry for the glasses and the glare. I cannot read without my glasses. I can't see without them. So there's gonna be a glare. I may edit to dim just a little bit. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the horror story. Don't mind the noises the guinea pigs are eating before they go to bed. 61 months, 4 days. This is a house of monsters, and we are its keepers, Herc and I. We never know what we will face when we enter. Today, all was calm. The Persian rugs, which lined the creaking floorboards, lay in place untorn. The walnut paneling was unstained with ooze or gore, and the crystal chandeliers, although flickering, were intact. I am sure that vapors of the noxious history of this house have seeped their way into the grain of the wood, the fibers of the carpets. Try as I might, I am unable to cleanse it. There is little ventilation. There is little ventilation. As we moved through the corridor, I could detect carbonates, impressions. It is very hard, not impossible, to rid of the house of its stifling effect on the breathable air. The house is not designed to contain these monsters and simply doesn't have the ventilation. We have no choice but to air the house for the duration of our visits, even though they are in cages. When I open the windows, I fear for the monsters' escape, but should they come close to suffocation, to have them fear for their own lives would be catastrophic. In the house are 5 constant monsters. I call them this because they remain. I hesitate to call them strong, but let's say they remain present and have done so for some months. Their numbers includes our fauna, who desperate wails create a futureless hollow of anguish. Meteors, who threatens the very structure with his mass. Fallout, whose strengthening desiccates your skin and dissolves your bones, gone to Mal, who disorientates, rearranging the hallways of the house and of your mind, and Carboneth, who overwhelms the life-sustaining air and emits the sludge of ages. Occasionally, a new corridor will open, or perhaps I should say a previously unknown corridor, for nothing here is new. A door will stand ajar, and we must cross the threshold for a new monster to become known to us. Some become constant, others are passing like needlelet, hounding and school. Then there is the broken open door. We call it this because it contains monsterless cages, bars wrenched apart by force, still contoured into the impressions of the rough fist that did it. A hole was opened in the wall beyond, which is the only other exit from the house. The entrance to the broken open door sometimes evades me, and for that I am glad. The monsters wax and wane in their strength, not with the moon, but seemingly with their own orbits, sometimes dim and dormant for many months, others times floodlit and feisty in a day. Herc and I have our routine. On every visit we must first assess their conditions. We do the rounds today. All seem unusually quiet except Codman, who hurled his rattling bones against his bars, crawls shaking every part of the atrophied body, and Orphana, whose wails carried the vibration of every soul entering the universe for the parents it no longer has. Herc went to replace Violet's cooling water, and I sealed myself outside Orphana's room. It's cliche, but our tasks follow long gathering lines. He is better equipped to take on the physical tasks, such as cooling Violet, chipping meteors, and cleaning up after Carboneth. I make see to comforting Orphana and feeding Cottonmouth. Orphana's distress is waxing as of late. When I entered her room, I saw a mess of floor, a plate of gutters and shapes surrounding by a mostly intermediate mix of colors, outcuts of twisted anthropomorphic figures. I quickly scooped up the detritus and hurled it out the window. It flew downwards into the thick gunmetal clouds. They are always there, and I do not know what exactly lies beneath, but no matter where I throw the items, they always return home. You are not supposed to let them in, I scolded Orphana, who did not break her scream. She cannot speak in any case. I should have used my words so harshly. This is not how to care appropriately for Orphana. She wails not from one seeking mouth, but many. They are innumerably with corrupted, decaying teeth, and covering every inch of her eyes, frames, forever bent double. Pink pajamas stretched over her distended rib cage, haunted by the spectres of rainbows and unicorns. Threads chewed loose as tiny mouths gnaw away at the fabric. was a car driving by. The lips are encrusted and bleeding, sore from biting. Every mouth ill trays with some horrible fuss of a 5-year-old's grief. A hand unheld, a comfort unwhispered, a way unguided. Just a cry from one along is unbearable. From several is a sagacious, and from all at once we have never heard it. I called her name loudly, hoping for a moment of recognition for her to let me in. Ivana, I called. It's okay. They're going to be okay. I never say who they are, but this reassures her. The sound, though abating, beat me down. I expected no energy on the saying the first thing which comes to mind. I looked at the books. Everybody's safe in front of. Hush, want a story? There's a break in the crying. I fill cage. Library only with stories on which parents remain alive and well. I grabbed the first one and read, but speech, even just delivering words from the page, was dredged from me like a body from the river. At last, Ivana slumped into quiet, with all else calm. I hope I was no longer needed in the monster house tonight. I found her outside the East Holloway boot room, having finished venting Valeth and recruiting his cooling water. He sneezed. He squeezed my hand. I'll take Clonthma and close the windows, he said, knowing Ivana trained me. For another day, the monster house is contained. Alright, my sunflowers, that is it for this video. I will record part 2 tomorrow. It is a short story, but it has 3 parts, and I didn't realize that until after reading the first part. So, there will be 3 videos, or 2 up this week, but don't get used to it. My normal schedule is once a week, but I'll see you again